Hey everyone, Stranger Things Season 5 is on the horizon, and people keep saying this is the end of an era. Before we jump back into Hawkins, let's rewind and walk through Season 1, scene by scene, so you're locked in and ready to return to the Upside Down. Episode 1, The Vanishing of Will Byers. November 6th, 1983, Hawkins, Indiana. Small town, quiet streets, until it isn't. The pilot opens in Hawkins National Laboratory, where a terrified scientist runs for his life. He dives into an elevator. The doors close. Something unseen slams him. Black screen. The show makes one thing clear. This is not a normal night. Cut to a cozy basement. 4 friends. Mike, Will, Lucas, and Dustin. Dice, character sheets, and a Dungeons and Dragons game. They're kids at play, but the world is about to get very, very real. After the game, they bike home. Will rides alone and disappears. One moment he's there. The next, his bike lies abandoned. Lights flicker, and the silence is wrong. His mother, Joyce Byers, and older brother Jonathan quickly realize Will never made it home. Chief Jim Hopper treats it as a runaway at first, but clues point to something stranger. Meanwhile, a little girl with a shaved head escapes the lab and collapses at a diner. Benny, the diner owner, finds her. She's clearly not right. She can move objects without touching them. Lab agents arrive posing as social workers. Benny is killed. The girl runs into the woods. Her name? The name we'll later all learn to say with a whisper is 11. The episode ends with the town on edge and the kids about to run into something that will change everything. Episode 2, The Weirdo on Maple Street Night. Mike, Lucas, and Dustin smuggle 11 into Mike's basement. She barely speaks, terrified and distrustful. "Bad people," she whispers. Mike insists they keep her safe. He's a kid, but he has a spine. 11 refuses to leave. The fear in her eyes says more than words can. Joyce Byers is installing a new phone, obsessing over every ringing tone. Hopper digs into the case and finds Benny Hammond's body, staged to look like suicide. Jonathan Byers starts poster runs and remembers small family moments, little details like their favorite song that make the disappearance ache. Back in the basement, 11 slams a door shut without touching it. The boys finally see the truth. She's not just odd, she's powerful. She looks at Will's photo and says quietly, "Will, hiding from bad monster." Demogorgon is a name whispered like a bad dream. Across town, Nancy Wheeler goes to Steve Harrington's party with her friend Barb. A cut finger at the pool draws attention from something lurking in the shadows. Jonathan, photographing from the woods, unknowingly captures Barb's last moments. Joyce gets a call full of static. She hears Will's voice. The phone sparks. The lights blink. The show is building a single terrifying thesis. Something else exists, and it's contacting them. Episode 3, Holly Jolly. Barb wakes up in a decaying, slimy duplicate of reality, the Upside Down, and we watch helplessly as she's taken. Nancy wakes up awkward after Steve's party. Barb is missing, and the normal world looks brittle. Joyce covers her house in Christmas lights. A desperate, brilliant idea to make a signal line. She paints the alphabet on the wall and waits. Then the lights spell out answers. Yes, right here. Then a final, terrifying message. Run. The wall cracks. Something claws at the other side. The town is now split between grief and denial. The kids sneak into the woods with walkie-talkies and notebooks. The truth is starting to stitch together. Hawkins Lab did something. The Upside Down is not a rumor. At Sattler's quarry, a body surfaces. It looks like Will. Mike crumbles. 11 sobs. The episode closes on a gut punch. The town believes Will is dead, and everything feels darker. Episode 4, The Body. Joyce refuses to accept the body as Will's. Hopper, skeptical, can't shake a nagging doubt. He sneaks into the morgue and discovers what Joyce instinctively knew. The body is hollow, stuffed with filler. Someone staged this. He goes to the lab. Meanwhile, the kids rig up a radio. 11 places her hands on it and enters a psychic void. Through static, Will calls out. It's dark, cold. The monster's here. Joyce hears it through the wall. A shadow moves under the wallpaper. The scene is equal parts heartbreaking and horrifying. Episode 5, The Flea and the Acrobat. Hopper breaks into a restricted section of Hawkins Lab and glimpses a gate. Organic, breathing, like a wound in the world. He's caught and left shaken. Someone's been watching him. The town's teacher, Mr. Clark, gives the kids a metaphor they won't forget. An acrobat walks a tightrope, but a flea can crawl underneath. If a parallel world exists, maybe it's just on the other side of the rope. The kids head to the woods with a compass, but 11 confesses she twisted it. She doesn't want them finding the gate. 8. Tensions flare. Lucas and Mike fight. 11 pushes Lucas away with a force that breaks bones. Guilt swallows her. Nancy and Jonathan discover more. A wounded deer. A goo-covered tree that acts like a portal. Nancy slips into the Upside Down and sees the Demogorgon. She crawls out shaken. Now the adults can't deny the monster anymore. Episode 6. The Monster. Nancy's return pushes the town closer to panic. Nancy and Jonathan set a trap. They plan gasoline and nails. They will fight, but the world gets uglier before it gets better. Steve, initially part of the problem, has a complex arc towards redemption. Meanwhile, the boys are cornered by bullies. Mike jumps. 11 saves him, literally stops him in midair. She breaks a bully's arm using nothing but her stare. She saved us, Dustin says. That moment cements the group. 11 is family. Hopper and Joyce learn about Terry Ives, a woman who claims Brenner stole her baby. The dots begin connecting. 11. Jane was a lab experiment. The stakes shift from mystery to rescue. Episode 7. The Bathtub. A high-speed chase, black vans, kids flying on bikes, and one of the show's most iconic moments. 11 flips a van into the air. The team hides in an old school bus. The kids finally united again. Hopper pulls them to safety, and at the Byers' home, the group shares everything. They build a sensory deprivation tank, a kiddie pool rigged with salt and dim lights, so 11 can float and project her mind into the void. Inside the darkness, 11 finds Barb, gone, and Will, alive at Castle Byers, small and shivering. Hope ignites. Joyce and Hopper rush out to save Will. The kids steel themselves for the fight. This is the point where their childhoods end and their mission begins. Episode 8. The Upside Down. Finale. The final act is a collision of every plot thread. Joyce and Hopper make a deal to enter the Upside Down. They suit up in hazmat and step through a breathing, rotten wall into a mirror of Hawkins, cold, dead, and crawling with spores. Hopper is haunted by memories of his lost daughter. This rescue feels like atonement. Back in the normal world, Nancy, Jonathan, and Steve bait the Demogorgon into a trap. Fire engulfs the house. The monster dissolves, or does it? The finale balances grief and victory. In the lab, Brenner reaches 11 and begs her to come home. She refuses. In a final burst of raw power, she chooses her friends. She screams, releases everything, and the Demogorgon collapses into dust. 11 disappears in the blast. Mike holds her hand and hears, "Goodbye, Mike." It's devastating. They find Will and pull him back from the edge. He coughs. He's alive. The town breathes for a moment, but the last image is a punch in the gut. In the mirror, Will spits something small and slug-like into the sink. A flash of the Upside Down in the glass. The gate may be closed, but the thing that slipped through is not fully gone. Season 1 is a perfect blend of heart and horror. It's about friendship, kids who stick together no matter what. It's about mothers and the raw power of a parent who refuses to give up. It's about a government willing to do terrible things in the name of science. It's about sacrifice. 11 gives everything to save her friends, and the uneasy truth that some doors, once opened, never truly shut. If you're rewatching for Season 5, remember the small moments. Mike's determination, Joyce's light bulb wall, Hopper's quiet resolve, Jonathan's photographs, Barb's tragic fate, and 11's final look. These moments matter. They're what make Hawkins feel alive, emotional, and terrifying all at the same time. And hey, if you want to watch all Stranger Things seasons explained in detail, make sure to hit subscribe on our channel, Movie Breakdown.